Welcome to aminacademy.com. In human anatomy and physiology, let us look about respiratory system. Some introduction. The cells of the body need energy for all their metabolic activities. Most of this energy is derived from chemical reactions, which can only take place in the presence of oxygen. The main waste product of these reactions is carbon dioxide. The respiratory system provides the route for by which the supply of oxygen present in the atmospheric air enters the body, and it provides the route of excretion for carbon dioxide. The condition of the atmospheric air entering the body varies considerably according to the external environment. For example, it may be dry or moist, warm or cold, and carry varying quantities of pollutants, dust or dirt. As the air breathed in moving through the air passages to reach the lungs, it is warmed or cooled to body temperature, saturated with water vapor, and cleaned as particles of dust stick to the mucus which coats the lining membrane. Blood provides the transport system for O2 and CO2 between the lungs and the cells of the body. Exchange of gases between the blood and the lungs is called external respiration, and that between the blood and the cells internal respiration. The organs of the respiratory systems are nose, pharynx, larynx, trachea, two bronchi, one bronchus to each lung, bronchioles and smaller air passages, two lungs and their coverings, the pleura, muscles of breathing, the intercostal muscles and the diaphragm. Now let us discuss further detail about the respiratory system. Human respiratory system primary role is gas exchange. Taking in oxygen for cellular respiration and expelling carbon dioxide. The key structure include the upper respiratory tract, that is nose, pharynx, larynx for air conduction and conditioning, and the lower respiratory tract, that is trachea, bronchi and lungs, which where air reaches the alveoli for gas exchange with blood. This vital system also support functions like speech, olfaction and immune defense. And in anatomy, we can see the conducting versus respiratory zones. The respiratory system is anatomically and functionally divided into two zones. The conducting zone of the human respiratory system consists of the nasal cavity, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, and bronchioles. Its primary function are to provide a passageway for air, filter and humidify inhaled air to body temperature, and trap debris with mucus. This zone transports air to the respiratory zone where gas exchange occurs in the alveoli. Respiratory zone. The respiratory zone is the part of the human respiratory system where gas exchange occurs, comprising the respiratory bronchioles, alveolar duct and alveoli. Unlike the conducting zone, which warms, filters and transports air, the respiratory zone's primary role is to facilitate the diffusion of oxygen into the bloodstream and carbon dioxide out of the blood, a process critical for supplying oxygen to the body's tissues and removing waste products. Conducting zone. Nose and nasal cavity. This is a conducting zone part. warms, humidifies, and filters incoming air. Pharynx, shared pathway for air and food. Pharynx. Larynx, the voice box, allowing for speech. Trachea, a sturdy tube that leads air to the bronchi. Bronchi and bronchioles, branching tubes that conduct air into the lungs. Next is respiratory zone. First part is alveoli, tiny thin-walled air sacs where the actual exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide with blood occurs. Physiology, the process of respiration. How the respiration happens. Respiration is the overall process of supplying the body with oxygen and removing carbon dioxide, and it involves four main events. The process of human respiration involves four stages. First one, pulmonary ventilation, that is breathing in and out. External respiration, that is gas exchange in the lungs, transport of gases, oxygen to tissues, carbon dioxide to lungs via the circulatory system. And internal respiration, that is gas exchange between blood and body cells. During this process, air containing oxygen enters the nose and the gas exchange between the blood and body cells. During this process, air containing oxygen enters the nose and mouth, travels down the trachea and bronchial tubes, and reaches the alveoli in the lungs where gas exchange occurs. Oxygen enters the blood and is transported to the body's tissue, while carbon dioxide, a waste product, travels back to the lungs for exhalation. Pulmonary ventilation, that is a breathing. Air is moved into and out of the lungs through the diaphragm and intercostal muscles. Second one, external respiration. Oxygen moves from the lungs to the blood and carbon dioxide from blood to the lungs. Gas transport. Oxygen and carbon dioxide are transported via the bloodstream throughout the body. Internal respiration. Gas exchange occurs between the blood and the body's tissues. Some key functions. What are the key functions of respiration? First, gas exchange. The core function, delivering oxygen for cellular metabolism and removing carbon dioxide waste. Speech, the larynx contains vocal cords enabling voice production. Olfaction, the nose's nasal cavity facilitates the sense of smell. Immune defense, the respiratory system filters harmful particles protecting the body. So far we discussed little about the introduction of respiratory system. We have done. Please subscribe our YouTube channel.